Welcome back to DK Custom Products. I'm Devin here with Dwayne behind the camera. And today we're going to be installing the adjustable engine stabilizer and also explaining just how important this little part is. So as I said, today we're going to be installing the adjustable engine stabilizer. This does fit 2009 up touring models. On prior models to 2009, they already had an adjustable engine stabilizer on there. And for some reason, they did away with that and there's a fixed linkage on there. So if the bike was actually out of alignment, there is no adjustment for that. They just throw the bike together and hope it's in alignment, where in reality, that doesn't work. On paper, sure, everything's perfect on paper, but once you get to real life, it's not. So this actually is, in my opinion, a required component. And in every bike that I've checked so far, the alignment is off, and this is the fix. If you're wanting to know how to check your alignment and see if you need this product, check the video linked above. But today we're going to be going through the whole entire process and installing this from start to finish. So we're going to get into that in just a second. But first, I want to go through the tools that you're going to need to accomplish this. It's not a lot. Of course, you're going to need your service manual, know your torque specs, a torque wrench to use those torque specs, and thread locker for all threads. I always recommend all thread locker on all threads. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver or whatever tool you need to remove your seat. This one's a Phillips head screwdriver. Of course, we're going to remove the bags. We're going to remove the shocks. Whatever tools you need to remove your bags. This one's a 3/4 inch wrench. We're going to use a extension on that. And of course, a ratchet for that. We're going to need some kind of way to check our alignment. We have come up with this tool. If you want to know more about the tool, check the link above. But today, this is what we're going to be using. You can use a tape measure or many other methods. I mean, you can use a string. I mean, there's many different ways to measure that. I just found it very difficult to do with a tape measure or a string or something like that, and I wanted mine very accurate. So that's why we developed that tool, but it is not necessary. You can just measure it, but a 1/16 of an inch matters here. So I wanted something more accurate than that. But back to it, once we start installing the adjustable engine stabilizer link, we're going to need a 9/16 wrench and socket to remove the factory non-adjustable one. And then we're going to need a 9/16 crow's foot. That actually isn't necessary, it just makes it a lot easier. You can bend a wrench, or I have actually done it with a regular open-end box-end wrench. This just makes it a little bit easier, especially tightening the jam nuts. Along with all these hand tools, you're also going to need a jack to be able to jack the bike up. We want that bike level when we do it, so we just have a simple level here. It ain't got to be, we don't need no machinist level or nothing. It just needs to be, close to level. So just a regular level will work fine. And then you'll need something. We're going to use a screw jack to support the engine once we take the stabilizer loose, just so it's close to the same location when we put it back on. You'll see more about that here in a minute. But you can just use a piece of wood and the main jack that you're using to support that during that process, and we'll show more about that in a minute. We've already removed the seat and the saddlebags. That's the first step. We ain't going to show that on film. Everybody knows how to do that by this point. So the next step is we're going to put our jack under the bike and get it jacked up. Once we get this jacked up, we are going to need that level. And we're going to just lay a level across the backbone here, make sure it's level on the jack, but you'll see that once we get to that point. All right, and you want to jack it up to where the back tire is just barely on the ground. So we ain't holding much weight. As we take the shock bolts loose, the suspension isn't going to drag or tear threads out. Now we're going to remove the shocks from the bike. Of course, these are our next gen shocks. If you haven't seen those, check those out. They are on our website. All right, we'll set these to the side to be put back on after we check. All right, so now we got the second shock off. Set it to the side to be put back on after the check. At this point, you want to make sure that the swing arm isn't resting on anything, like not resting on the exhaust. It is touching it over here right now. So I am going to lower the bike just a little bit. Just a little bit. And now we are going to check and make sure that it is actually level. It doesn't have to be exact, but it needs to be pretty close. So as you can see, this jack actually is not level. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find a small shim and put under the left-hand side. We are centered now. That's plenty straight enough. And you know, if it's a little bit out of center, it ain't the end of the world. Just try to get it pretty close. The swing arm, as most of y'all may know, is rubber mounted and mounted to the transmission. The transmission is mounted, hard mounted directly to the engine, and the engine is setting in the frame. Well, that engine sets in the frame, and what sets it is that front motor mount sets the left to right angle of that engine. Well, since everything is in a direct line, the engine, transmission, swing arm, if you move that engine, you know, over to the left, the swing arm is actually going to tilt that way as well. So that's how it works. What sets the alignment back here is actually the front motor mount. That's your left, right. Everything comes from that front mount. So to take that measurement, we want everything aligned up centrally with the frame. So to verify that we have that alignment, we're going to measure from the frame at a known point, the top shock mount, and we're going to measure that swing arm. Again, it's on that swing arm. So if we're out of alignment left to right, we'll have a bigger measurement or a smaller measurement on one side than the other. Now again, that measurement doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the measurement is. They just need to be the same. They need to be aligned. And to be aligned, they need to be the same number. And a 1/16 of an inch in this instance actually matters. You can take that measurement again with a tape measure, a piece of string, and then measure that, however you want to do it. But it was very hard for me to be confident in my measurement down to a 1/16 of an inch. I tried using a bolt, I tried using string, I tried different methods, and I was getting different measurements as I was going. So that's why we created this tool. If you want to know more about this tool, we'll put a link above. That tool should be on our website and available now. But this is what we're going to actually use to check our alignment, and this is just a measurement transfer device. So you can take measurements and make sure they're the same, or you can do something like this that's as simple as putting it in the hole at the top and the bottom and then locking them down. And now I have either it fits on the other side or it doesn't. So I haven't moved this from the other side, so I'm going to put it in the swing arm, and we're going to see if it, and you can see that it doesn't line up right there. It looks like it may be a 3/16 of an inch off here, and what that means is that front motor mount that sets that angle, that motor mount is actually let the engine sag to the left a little bit too far. So when we put our adjustable motor mount in there, I already know right now that it needs to be a little bit tighter, like it needs to be a little bit shorter. And what that's going to do is, once you line that up and bolt it up, it's going to actually pull this swing arm up, getting closer to that hole. And then as we do that, the adjustable linkage, you know, it's adjustable on the bike. It's got a jack screw with left and right hand threads. So as you turn that, it'll get closer and tighter, and you can fine tune everything. And you just want to fine tune that until both measurements are the same. And a very important thing to note is, as you're making adjustments to that adjustment in the front, it's going to change both sides. So every time you think that you have a new measurement, you need to test both sides every time. Because as one gets shorter, the other gets longer. So don't just try one side and then make the other side line up with it, because then if you go back to the other side, it's actually going to be off at that point. So now that I've explained all of that, like I said, this tool you don't necessarily have to have this. It just makes it super easy, and you can be accurate with it, where I couldn't be accurate enough for me with a tape measure or a string or something. So now we'll actually go to the process of installing the adjustable engine stabilizer link. The next step is going to be removing the stock non-adjustable engine stabilizer here. Again, we're going to be replacing it with our adjustable one. But when we take this loose, that engine is actually going to want to fall to the left. The left-hand side of the bike is heavier. The primary is on the left-hand side. And you can wrestle that back around and you can get it back lined up. This is adjustable, so you can always pull it back with this. I found it to be a whole lot easier is if we just support the engine with another jack or anything that you can put under that to just let it lay on that instead of just falling all the way over to the side. So we just want to kind of just help support it where it's at. Then we'll take our stock linkage, and once it's all the way off, we'll make our new linkage that adjustment. We'll adjust it to the exact same length as the factory one. And then if we did everything right, everything should just line back up. We can get our bolts back installed with thread locker and torque to spec, and then we can start our adjustment and get our alignment dialed in. So we'll do that now. So I just went right up to the bottom of the primary, barely touched it, and now we're going to remove our factory link. It's as simple as 2 bolts. I have 9/16 on this side and then another on the other, and I'm going to get them both loosened right now. And as you can see, because we supported the engine, I got this loose and it lines right back up. The engine did not move. So now I can go to the other side and remove the other bolt. I'm just going to take our adjustable link and I am going to adjust it to where it's the same size, or roughly the same size as the one we just removed. So now, as you can see, they're roughly the same length. They ain't got to be exact. Closer you can get it, the better. But you can also make fine adjustments when you're back under the bike, getting the bolt started back. Now there was a washer under the bearing on this side only. I am going to be reusing that. Not exactly sure the purpose for that, but it was there, so I am going to reuse it. All right. Yeah, that side bolted up. Now let's see how close we got to our length. A little bit off. So I'll just shorten this side up a little bit. So I can get it started. And then we'll tighten it down. All right, so we're going to loosen our jam nuts on both sides for now and get ready to do our fine tuning and alignment. So from the side of the bike that I'm on, from the left-hand side of the bike, I need to go in a clockwise rotation to extend the jack screw. And to do this, I'm using a crow's foot. This can be done with a regular open end box end, but it is way easier with the crow's foot. So I went clockwise about roughly 1 rotation, and now I'm going to go ahead and get another baseline measurement here and see what that's done for us. So far, not enough movement. Double check. It actually did get a little bit closer over here. So we'll keep going that direction. All right, about another turn, we'll try again. All right, so we got some movement here. I'm gonna just go ahead. Again, it doesn't matter what the measurement is. It matters if they're the same. And I mean, there's no movement. Slides right in, no movement, both sides. That is in alignment. And that was roughly 2.5 full rotations. That's a 5/16 18 screw. So Harley had it wrong, the length of that, by 2.5 turns of a 5/16 18 screw. Next step now, we do have it in alignment. We double checked it with our tool. We're gonna lock the gem nuts down, again, using the crow's foot. And once those are locked down and in tight, then we'll do one final check to make sure that everything stayed in alignment while we were doing this, while we were tightening the gem nuts. And then hopefully that's it. It's putting them back together, going for a ride and seeing what improvements it made. I know that on my bike, my 2024, really 2023 and a half Street Glide, I mean, it made the difference in me going into a curve and kind of being nervous. Is it going to wobble? Is it not? That's always sticking in the back of your mind once it happens. And now it's just, it feels stable. I mean, I have that confidence back now, and I haven't had it wobble that way since doing the alignment. So I'm very confident that was my issue, and hopefully this helps a lot more out there. But now, for now, we're just gonna tighten these gem nuts, make sure everything stayed in alignment. All right, now that we got the gem nuts tight, we can do a final check, make sure that everything stayed in alignment while tightening the gem nuts. So I did just loosen that again because I'm gonna start from scratch every time. And there we go, she's in alignment. So our next steps are gonna be putting the shocks back on and putting the bike back together. I'm just gonna go ahead and start doing that. But as you saw, this wasn't, a very difficult process doing all of this. It took a little bit of time, but nothing difficult at all. And then I did do the math a while ago, and it was a little bit more than 3/16 of an inch that the factory stationary stabilizer was actually short. If it was on this particular bike, if they'd have made it 3/16 roughly, a little bit more longer, then this bike would have been in alignment. But in my opinion, where they mess up on this is they're assuming a perfect world, and that's not what we live in. In a perfect world, everything works out like it does on paper. But I mean, there's manufacturing process problems, inconsistencies. I mean, things happen. So there's slop in every bolt, or in every hole that a bolt goes through. And I think that's what's happening. They're tightening all this stuff up. They're slopping 5 different holes in a process, and the engine is just naturally wanting to slide over that way. And that's how they're tightening the bolts down, and there's no adjustment. So why they did away with that, I have no idea. So if you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, be sure to leave those. We answer every comment left on YouTube. Hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when our next video comes out. If you're interested in the adjustable engine stabilizer, check that out on our website or in a link below. And also the tool that we come out with, it'll be down there as well. So hope you like the video, and y'all ride safe out there.